Alright, Wishbone here. It's Saturday morning, as promised. Decided to do the rebar today. I do have my brother helping out today, but he doesn't want to be on video, so we'll just video his hands. So, here's the things that you need when doing the rebar job. You definitely need your rebar. So, we're just using standard grade rebar. This is still 10 times stronger than using the mesh grill that you can get, and I'll show you what that looks like a little bit later. But in this video we went with a much stronger because we know that we're going to have a big load on the concrete foundation that we're putting down for the jacuzzi. So the rebar that we're using, they've got it marked, and you could see here it's really difficult to use, but this is number 3, and the way that you could tell that is because it'll have so many marks. So you got it right here, and so you got number, and it's got 1, 2, 3 lashes. 1, 2, 3. So we got number 3. They call it number 3 wire instead of getting number 4 and number 5 wire, which is definitely an alternative, and that just means that it's much bigger. For bigger applications, as the rebar is going up through the block, we will have some of that. So the next thing that you need is you need these block spacers. Let me get you out of the light here. These block spacers. Now these block spacers, they have a groove in them on 2 different sides. So this would be 2 inches high deck inside where the rebar sits, or 3 inches high deck with a groove in there for the rebar. So we're going to have ours at the 3-inch high because you want your rebar about center of your concrete pad. So you don't want it at the bottom, you don't want it at the top. It's very actually picky. If you actually read the code for your area, it'll give details. But we're doing a 1 foot around spacing. Also, we're doing 1 foot in from the outside of the form, so you don't want them protruding out or sticking too far out. You can get a lot of cracking and stuff over there. So since ours is over 6 inches deep, ours is technically 7 to 7.5 inches deep for this slab. So the 3-inch mark is going to do just fine. But this is as high as they come, and so you have to break them up. They'll come in long stacks. We've got longer stacks in here. They come in stacks of like 5 or 6, and there's one that's a 4. But my brother and I have been breaking them up really easy. And the tool, you got a couple different tools that you could use. You could use a little plate sledgehammer blade and use a little sledgehammer, or you could be like me. I do everything easy. Of course the tool costs a lot of money, but I invested it for a bunch of other stuff. And so yeah, I use my Bosch hammer, Bulldog Extreme blade, and you could get all the different attachments, drill bits for concrete. We use this for tile. You get a bunch of different attachments. The machine itself, you can use hammer by itself so it's not spinning, and then you can use hammer and drill, or you could just use drill. So if you switch that lever like that, now that's just going to spin. You put it to there, it's going to hammer and drill. So when you're doing concrete, or in our application, we just need that. So the way that it works is pretty simple. You put it right in the groove here, okay? You put your machine there, and just like that. Just like that, she's broken. Okay, so that takes care of the blocks. The next thing that you're going to need is some way to cut your rebar. Now, the longer that you get your rebar in, the cheaper it's going to be. If you can get it from somebody that's just throwing it away, or they have excess on Craigslist or anything like that, I would definitely do that first, because rebar is rebar. And then next thing you're going to need is something to cut it with. Now we're using my cutting saw. And so yeah, it's just a chop saw. It's got a cutting wheel on there. And so here she is. I've got a bunch of these blades. They're for metal. And then it's got a little, you know, clamp here that you can use. It's very simple. It's got a handle, and it just goes up to speed. You cut, boom, you're done. So that's the cutting wheel. And then the last thing that you're going to need for sure is going to be the twine wire, I guess that's what you can call it. Twine wire comes in a, you could get them like packages of 10, 15, something like that, 20. Since we have a lot of different concrete and rebar and block that we're doing, I just got literally a bundle. So here's a bundle of 1,000 in this roll. And so they've got 2 loops at each end. That's it. They've got literally a couple different tools for it. They got a manual tool. They've got electric tool that you can use. They also have an attachment that goes onto a socket drill. But I'm going to show you with just John's hands just how simple this is for him. So I'm going to let him demonstrate. So you can see he just puts the wire in there and he just tightens it like you would, you know, wrapping bread, and that's it. That's how simple it is. Okay? Now, the trick with rebar and our code here in Phoenix, Arizona is your rebar, when you're overlapping your rebar for a new connection, you need to have a minimum of 2 feet between each rebar connection. So all of your connections should have a minimum of a 2-foot overlap. And so for here, we're doing 3 ties. And what we'll do is John and I are going to finish this. I will show you the cross sections and we'll show you the completed project as far as getting this rebar set up. But we do need to do some measuring, and it's definitely going to take the both of us here. So stay tuned, and I'll be right back, and you'll see the second part of this rebar video. Thanks for watching. Please post, rate, and subscribe.